we can use what we have right now. Let me write it in there and note it. Okay, draw and color. Okay, I'm going to use my pen on top of what you got, okay? So for u equals e to the negative x is the same as 1 over e to the x. Okay? And you can find u prime using the quotient rule, which is another portion of quotient rule before you put it back in, still quotient rule, but you work on the side for the quotient rule of this, and then put it back into the product rule for the problem to find y prime. So this, the top one, well, another set of u and v. I guess you would not be too confused about this. So for this case, the u equals 1 and the v equals e to the x. The u prime is 0. The v prime is e to the x. Oops. There you go. There you go. All right. And then for the e to the negative x, use the quotient rule, the v u prime minus u v prime over v squared. And the v is e to the x. The u prime is 0 minus the u is 1. The v prime is e to the x divided by v squared, which is e to the x squared. This one gone, becomes negative e to the x divided by e to the x times e to the x. E to the x cancel, get negative 1 over e to the x, or negative e to the negative x, that's what you got. Okay. And I'll show you another version without using another piece of the quotient on the side here. So from y prime equals uv prime plus u prime times v, and you just put the pieces in the right spot. Is that what you did at the end?
Yeah, that's what I did at the end.
Okay, that's good. All right, thank you. So everyone agreed with the answer? Yeah? Make sure that everyone in the same direction, not just Jonas, the one that wrote down, and only the one that understand what's going on. Hope everyone understand how to handle this. So this is the direct way to do it. Okay. But another way to do it, you can use the same concept as what I wrote down here, as u equals e to the negative x as 1 over e to the x. I can rewrite the y as psi x divided by e to the x, and then just use the quotient rule from there, from here, from this version of the y. So you do not have to deal with the negative power of the e. So this can be another u and v. So u is psi and v is e to the x, and it will come right out the same answer as what you got. Okay. Questions for the first one? No question. All right. So let's go to the next one. Thank you, Jonas.
You're welcome.
How about the second group? Who would like, Christian, you started the whiteboard. Would you be the one that share with the class what you guys did? Even halfway done for question number 2? Okay, there you go. Thank you. And your microphone works? Oh, you're typing. Can you talk? I mean, it might be easier. I can. The prime times g minus g prime times f. Okay. You use.
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay. This is a.
Did you have the work that you guys did with the group?
Yeah, we got up to this point.
Oh, okay. All right. how about do you have anything written down on your paper so you can tell me? I'll write it for you. Might be easier.
So we started with the quotient rule.
Okay, let me
Uh,
the question. Okay.
we went and found the derivatives of both of them. What I did was I also removed the 3 from, or I removed the 3 as a constant from the formula.
Okay. So, let me adjust the term real quick. Okay. Hang on a second. So use the mouse. Clear, easy, arrow, stamp, text. All right. Too much work here. Let me try not to get messy with your whatever that you type in. So you're gonna use the quotient rule.
Yeah.
So that one. Okay. Before you use the quotient rule, you said you factor the 3 out. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Take the 3 out, and then the tangent x over secant plus 7 plus 7 secant x.
Yeah.
And then what?
So the derivative of tangent is secant squared x times 7 plus 7 secant x minus um,
On the side here, let me write it. So you use the function f as the tangent x,
yes,
and the function g as
7 plus 7 secant x.
7 plus 7 secant x. And what is f prime?
F prime is secant squared x.
Secant square x. And how about g prime?
I think it's 7 secant x. Let me double check what I got
Yep.
for that.
Everyone can enjoy us, not just Christian.
Oh, it's
okay?
7 secant x tan x.
7 and with the 7 in the front.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So we get all of them and then put them into the formula. Have 3 as a constant multiple.
Yeah.
And multiply the formula.
Yeah, this one's a bit messy.
That's okay. So this it can be done. So the
X times 7 plus 7 secant x.
so gonna be the quantity 7 plus 7 secant x multiplied by f prime minus the g prime 7 secant x tangent x, and then multiply by
Tangent x.
the tangent x and divided by the bottom square. Okay. So you got up to this step.
Yeah.
All right. And then how about help me simplify? What would we do to simplify? No, laughing.
Well, it would be tangent squared x for the right. Let's see, secant x, secant squared x.
This one tangent squared, that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. You see tangent here, tangent here. What do you see as a common factor?
No, 7.
7. 7. I'm gonna take this out. So 7. I try to move up, so I'm not sure I can. Oh, there you go. I can add page. Oh, you share the screen, so that's why I cannot move. Can you move?
How do I?
How do you? That's a good question. You see the plus on the bottom left or bottom right? Can you click on the plus sign? That's the add another one, another page. Okay. So let me see. I want to see this one too. Now, yeah, it's something. Anyway, I'll try to work it out. So we see the 7 as a factor, 7, 7, and also the secant power 1, secant power 1 as a common factor. Okay?
Mm.
I'm going to clean up some over here to make more room. Try to fit everything in one page. So I'm sure you guys are okay finding the derivative of the small one. So for this, so as we have y prime equals, we have 3 and we have the common 7, then we're going to take it out, and also one factor of the secant. Okay, so in the parentheses, then we take 1 7 out, so we have 1 plus secant x multiplied by another factor of the secant x. And the last term, the 7 and secant out, so we have tangent times tangent, which is tangent square. Okay, divided by the bottom looks like you have the power 2 of the same thing, and each factor of the 7 plus 7 secant x, you have common 7. Okay, that means you have 7 squared multiplied by 1 plus the secant x all squared. Question at this step. Okay, yeah, I saw Jeff said 7. Yes, thank you. And then to clean up, you see 7 here and 7, 1 factor 7 can be canceled. So we have 3 over 7 as a number, and the numerator will be, you can clean up by multiply secant x to both terms, and one secant here, secant x, and you have secant x plus secant square x minus the tangent square x as a numerator, divided by quantity 1 plus the secant x all squared. And nothing you can simplify more unless you want to replace the secant square x minus tangent square x into some term, which what you can recall like 1 plus, oops, where did it go? 1 plus the tangent square x equals secant square x. And that means 1 equals the secant square x minus the tangent square x. What you can do more would be, let me change the color here. The secant square x minus tangent square x is the same as 1. And that's it. Oh, you know what? Secant x plus 1, we can see more. Let me write it on top of it. So now we have, it's kind of messy, huh? 3 over 7 secant x multiplied by secant x plus 1 from using the identity. Okay, divided by 1 plus the secant x power 2. We see the common factor now that we can reduce. We write it. Secant x plus 1. 1 plus secant x. One factor will be gone. Now we have 3 over 7 times the secant x divided by 1 factor of 1 plus secant x left. So this is the most simplified solution. That's a lot of work, huh? The main part is the use of the quotient rule. And after the quotient rule, within the quotient rule, you find the derivative of each of individual small functions and then put them back. And the halfway of the second half of the problems, you just have to rearrange the term, simplify as much as you can. At this step, it's gonna be different problem by problem, case by case. So there is no fixed rule or no standard. Well, there is a standard rule that you're gonna simplify using appropriate rule, which is so general, so broad. This is the step that you're gonna bring back your skill in algebra, in trig, whatever that needs to be used to get the problem simplified as much as you can. Okay,